Get ready to kickstart your journey to wellness with the ultimate guide in town. Welcome to Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. Join us as we journey through the realms of natural healing, where ancient wisdom meets modern science. Prepare to be inspired by stories of transformation and triumph. With Doc Stone as your guide, discover the power of holistic living and the joy of reclaiming your health. Prepare for a whirlwind adventure through the world of holistic wellness. From fitness freaks to spiritual gurus, we've got something for everyone. So grab your sneakers, your yoga mat, or just your sense of curiosity, and let's dive headfirst into a world of wellness wonders. Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. Your path to a vibrant life starts now. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. I am Jeremy Doc Stone, health coach, holistic practitioner, and lover of all things natural wellness. I want to welcome you to this episode, and I am excited to continue the conversation with my friend, the co-founder of Aerostream TV Network, Jim Grant, who we'll bring on in just a moment. Last week, we talked about his heart event, is what we called it, where he had a heart attack after being told he was healthy. All of his normal measurements that you would associate with heart disease were completely normal. And he had great cholesterol, wasn't overweight or anything. And yet, all of a sudden, he found himself in the ER and being told that he had a heart attack. We were able to explore that experience in the ER, and today we're going to jump in and talk about the rest of the story, about his recovery and what has led him to build this amazing TV network of helping and inspiring people. So help me to welcome my friend Jim Grant. Jim, welcome to the show, buddy. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I'm real good at, everything except anything technical.
All right. Well, you know what? It wouldn't be a human show if there wasn't human error, right?
There you go. And I'm the best human to create errors you've ever seen. I don't even have to study it to create an error. But it's wonderful to be here. Great. And it's wonderful to be back with you and to pick up where we left off last time, because it was a journey for me. It really was.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And not just a long journey in the car on the way to the hospital, as we talked about last week with the traveling. And I know that your wife was extremely concerned about you.
Yeah.
And we talked about how your positive mental attitude, played a role in the way that you handled that. And I thought that was just such an amazing thing for our audience to hear about that. But I want to kind of pick up where we left off last week, and you were told, we left off where you're told you're going to have stents put into your heart. Then you went to the cardiologist and were given some other news. And I want to kind of talk about that news and kind of what the process was of you getting through that, and what's gotten you on the role that you're in now in launching this network to serve others. So take it away, my friend.
Okay. Well, when I had the heart attack, I was on a Friday night at midnight, and I was in the hospital, and they transferred me from the ER to the hospital over in Bryan College Station. And I was there the whole weekend. The cardiologist came in on Saturday and also on Sunday, and doctors were in there, and they said, "Hey, your heart's in great shape. We did all these tests, and they did a sonogram on my heart and all these things, and everything looked great." And they says, "All you're going to need is stents." And they couldn't do it until Monday morning because of the way COVID was restricting things to be done in that day and time. So I go in there Monday morning. Now, I gave my wife my cell phone Sunday night. I says, "Take it home, charge it, bring it back to me when you come pick me up, because I'm going to, be up early. I'm going to be going for the procedure. You're going to come and pick me up at, 12 o'clock noon at outpatient. So I had no way of contacting her. So I get in there and the cardiologist says, we're in the procedure. He's trying to install the stents. And that's when he said, Jim, stents won't work for you. He says, you got the widowmaker. First time I heard that word. He said, you're going to need open heart surgery. You got a 90% blockage. It's going to take about 4 bypasses. You need it today. We cannot put it off. And so at that point in time, I just said to myself, I said, well, Lord, I was people asked me how I felt. I was frustrated. I've been in the hospital the whole weekend. I've been poked and prodded and everything else. And here I was going to be released at noon. I was going to be feeling great. Now I got to go in and have open heart surgery. And I'm thinking, oh man. So I was frustrated, was a good way of putting it. And I just said to myself, Jeremy, I said, Lord, it's in your hands. If the surgery goes well, I go home. If it doesn't go well, I go home. And I think I've shared this with you in many times before, but I did not expect this feeling of love that came over me. And I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but I'll just say I understood everything instantly about as fast as you flip on a light when you go into a dark room, the entire light is filled. But I knew the surgery would go well, recovery would go well. So I had that blessed assurance, if you want to call it that I'm okay. So here again is another nugget of truth. When you know that you got that feeling, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. My journey is far from over. I'm going in for open heart surgery. I ain't got a clue what that's about. But I do know it's not going to be, Band-Aids and, fun. I know that. And so he shipped me out from there to ICU to get prepped and be ready for surgery. And my wife comes walking in and she's got this worried look on her face. And I looked at her and I says, what's wrong? And she said, what's wrong? I couldn't find you. Then I found out, you're not in, outpatient care. You're in ICU. You got to have open heart surgery. And you asked me what's wrong. So anyway, I went in, had the surgery, and I never had any pain after the surgery or anything like that, Jeremy. I didn't know what to expect, but I was sore, and the only time that it really hurt was when I would cough, but it only hurt for the moment. It wasn't like a pain that you had to have pain pills for. And I describe it like being poked in the ribs. Once you jump, but then it's over. It's about that quick. And stayed in the hospital from Monday until Saturday. They released me on that following Saturday because my heart went to AFib, and that was a lot of fun. But they sent me home with medicine and everything, and that's where my real journey began, in finding something natural that would work for me. And Jeremy, this is what really united me and you together, because you took a very similar path with your finding something that would work for you for your diabetes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like for you to, share that with the folks too, if you would, sir, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's important to understand, all of us have our journey, and oftentimes, especially those who get into natural health and wellness, it's usually because they go through their own struggle, their own journey of something in their health. And mine began back in 2012 when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, and I've gone through the process that so many diabetics go through. Once they're diagnosed, I went through denial, I went through anger, depression, everything that goes along with that. And in the modern medical system, the main thing that goes with that diagnosis is a slew of medications over and over, right? So I was frustrated, and I didn't have very good control of my diabetes until I was introduced to natural medicine and complementary and alternative practices in the healthcare system, And with that, I was able to get control of my diabetes, reverse my diabetes. And it really spurred in me a desire to help other people to do that. Because before that time, I thought I was set or doomed to live with my chronic illness for the rest of my life, right? And I was able to learn that that's just not the fact. I don't have to, live with that. That there are ways I can do that. Wean yourself off of medications, because here's the main thing that people need to understand is that your body is perfectly created to heal itself. Your body is every second of the day working its magic to keep you in what's called homeostasis, which is that perfect level, right? And it's only when things get out of balance in that system that we have illness. And so if we can learn to keep our bodies in that homeostasis, it's an amazing thing. So, we've both been through these journeys, and we will probably in the future do episodes just on diabetes and maybe share more about my story. But I think you shared something about your story, Jim, that is super, super important. A couple of things. One is that you just had faith, right?
Yeah.
And you had faith that you're going to be okay. You didn't go into it in a panic mode. And that didn't happen at the moment you had your event, but it's something that you had to develop before the event that allowed you to get through that. And I think that is very, very important, because the mind plays such an important part of keeping you healthy, right? So you went from your doctor telling you that you're a healthy 70-some-year-old man that all of a sudden, 72, having a heart attack in the ER, being told that, oh, no big deal, we'll just put some stents in, and then being told, wait a second, big deal, right? Danger, Will Robinson, right? All of a sudden, we're told that now we have what's called the widowmaker, which, having not heard that term before, that sounds pretty ominous, right?
Yeah, it really is. And I never heard of the term before, to be honest with you. And when a cardiologist tells you that this cannot be put off, it's serious. We cannot release you from the hospital and send you home. It's too serious. We need to do open heart surgery. You need it today. And that is, man, that's a wake up call. But knowing that I was going to be okay, it's like I said in the last episode, that's all that I needed at that point in time. It's kind of like when you go to a doctor and you get prescription, you take certain dose per day or whenever it's prescribed. When you take that one dose, that's all you need at that point in time.
Right.
And whenever you have that assurance that everything's going to be okay, it's not the end result, but it means the next step you take in your journey is not going to be a pothole, or there's not going to be a rattlesnake there, to bite you.
Yeah.
And that's how come you can, just take a deep breath and relax and say, okay, this is where I'm at, but this is not where I'm going to wind up being. And after they sent me home, of course, I had all the medications and everything, and they gave me some pain pills that in case I had pain. And as you can imagine, they were pretty strong because you got an 8-inch incision in your sternum. They cut your sternum in two, and they let it grow back together. They don't wire it or anything like that. And they were short on thread. Did you know that in the hospitals?
No, I didn't know that.
They actually glued me together, Little
Gorilla Glue?
It must have been, because it held this gorilla rib cage of mine together. But that was kind of, I didn't know how they would, close me, to be honest with you. But to see all that glue there, and then the pressure bandages and all that, I mean, it was an experience, because like I say, I'd never been down this road before, didn't know what to expect. But what led me down my journey to natural health, it wasn't that I was anti prescriptions or anything like that. It was just that I did not feel good. I was being woken up about every hour to an hour and a half. I had to go to the restroom to drain my bladder, which is unusual for me. Normally, I sleep the whole night through, maybe get up once, but every hour and a half, I'm not sleeping well and taking the medication that I was prescribed. I remember now, I said in the first episode, when the nurse says, "What do you take? What kind of medication do you take?" I don't take any, you know. And so now my body has got to deal not only with the surgery, but also all of these other non-natural chemicals in my body. And so I'm really, I got two things that my body's working on. And so I started doing some research, and I went to, started studying cardiologist after cardiologist after cardiologist. There were two common denominators that they really emphasize. One was to find a good vitamin, and the different ingredients in the vitamins that we needed. And they said, do not buy them from a big box store because they're more focused on profit over people, which means you will not get the same kind of quality. Now, that's not me saying it, that's what they said, okay? And then the second thing they talked about was dandelion tea. I did a lot of research on it. Dandelion tea, it's a great tonic for your body. It enhances the health of your liver. It also enhances with digestion. And that is great because it lowers inflammation. It also lowers the free radicals. And that is the breeding ground, the food supply for disease is free radicals and inflammation in your body. And it also, a couple of them talked about how it is like a repair kit for the heart. Now, this is a word of caution. Before I did anything, I communicated with my cardiologist. I told him what I was doing. I told him why I was doing it, and he understood. He said, okay. He says, let's be prudent about it. I'll have you come in every 90 days for blood tests, lab work to make sure we're not wandering off into the dark area. And long story short on that one there, last time I saw my cardiologist, I saw him in December. He moved away, retired, and I got a new cardiologist, and he's looking at the old reports, and I saw him about 2 months ago, and he says, just like Dr. Gray said, don't change anything you're doing because you're doing great. And so I'm very, very fortunate. So my point being, before you do anything, please communicate with your doctor. Let them know what you're doing. Because remember, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. And Jeremy, we talked a little bit in the first episode about how some guru on TV was talk about, this is the new fountain of youth, and people just flog to it blindly. And that's not the best rule of thumb to follow it, is it?
No, absolutely not. I kind of correlated to the old, what do they call them? Snake oil salesman. Mm-hmm. In the old West, it would go from town to town selling the brand new cure all for everything. And the fact is that there's really not a cure all for anything because your body, everybody's bodies react to things a little bit differently. So I think that's super, super important what you say, and that is to make sure that you consult with your medical practitioner.
Right.
And we're not giving out diagnoses or medical advice on here. We're just educating and entertaining folk. But we've done our research, we've gone through our own experiences, and gotten our own education, and we're sharing with our audience. So please, if you do have some kind of medical issue or whatnot, make sure you consult with a medical practitioner and get help that way. But I think that let's touch a little bit on the dandelion tea. So I just want to ask a question, right? Because a lot of people may have never even heard of that. And obviously as a holistic practitioner, I'm familiar with dandelion tea, and there's a whole lot of benefits to it. It's been used in natural medicine and Chinese medicine for a super long time. And so, it's got a lot of benefits to it. But share with us, when you say you drink dandelion tea, are you going and picking your dandelions and boiling them up, or is there pre-made versions already in a tea bag, or what is that exactly?
Well, for some reason, I don't, even though I live in the country, I don't have dandelions growing here because if you have dandelions in your yard, you can just, go out and collect them just like you would lettuce, for example. Make sure you wash it, clean it, and all that. And you could use the leaves in your salads. You can add it to your salad. And I do not have that prerogative because they don't grow. But what I do, I go to my local supermarket here in Texas. It's a big one known as HEB, the initials HEB, and I just simply buy 100% dandelion tea with nothing else in it, and I just brew it like I would iced tea. To be honest with you, I put it in a pot and heat up the water and put a bag in there. And also, too, I like to put a bag of cinnamon in there because I like cinnamon, you know.
Wow.
And then in the wintertime, I would drink it like a cup at night that's hot. Or, like now in the summertime, where it's getting up to triple digits in the degrees or close to it, I simply brew it in a pot and I let it cool. Then I put it in a glass container, put it in the refrigerator. And this is something that I learned. This is very, very important.
Hmm.
All of the cardiologists says drink 2 cups a day.
Okay.
I started out doing that. It was too much for my system. Now, my wife, she can
Okay.
drink a gallon a day and not even staggers, saying goes, because it doesn't affect her.
So
Remember, I said it.
when you say it wasn't good for your system, does that mean you were
Mhm.
having like some side effects to it, or what
No, no.
what was it doing for you?
Well, remember I said it aids with digestion?
Yeah.
It softens your stool too much. Okay. And
Aha.
that's a clear sign that you're simply taking too much. So what works for me is in the morning I'll get up and put my ice cubes in there. I know you're supposed to drink water to room temperature, but I like my
Mhm.
ice water. I fill it about half full of dandelion tea, the rest with water, and I take my Heart Health Pack that I get with those vitamins and all from that great company where we met
Yep.
directly or indirectly, but anyway, great products. And after I take that, I just I feel refreshed and I feel good. And I feel like I need to get up. And you know what I do next, Jeremy?
What's that?
I get up and I go straight to the coffee pot and I pour myself a cup of cafe
Yeah.
because I love my coffee and I'm not going to give up my coffee. But like I say there, with the dandelion tea, be prudent, and you got to pay attention to your body because if your stool is getting too soft, you're taking too much of it. It's that simple because it is a diuretic, which is a good thing because it cleanses out your digestive system, and that enables. And you're more of a subject matter expert on this than I am, Jeremy, but once you clean out your small intestine,
Mhm.
that's where you're able to get more of the benefits from your food, your vitamins, etc. Right?
Yep, yep, absolutely. You got to poop. If you're not pooping regularly, you're toxic inside. And so,
That's right.
that's super, super important. Your absorption of nutrients and stuff happens in your small intestine mostly. It's not in your stomach. And so,
That's right.
you got to make sure that you're clearing that out, regularly, that you're having regular bowel
Hmm.
movements. And
Hmm.
if you are a bit constipated, obviously drinking a little extra dandelion tea is something that will help you out because as you mentioned,
Hmm.
it's a diuretic. And,
Right.
one of the fantastic things, a lot of people don't realize that heart disease is really just another form of chronic inflammation. That's what causes
Yeah.
the heart disease in your heart is chronic
Amen.
inflammation. And that's a whole nother topic. It's so many other
Hmm.
issues. And we'll talk about that on an episode one day
Yeah.
about chronic inflammation, because according to statistics, reality, the leading cause of death isn't heart disease, cancer, diabetes, or anything like that. It's chronic inflammation, because all of those are caused by chronic inflammation, right? So
Yes.
chronic
Yes, it
inflammation
is.
kills so many people. But so
Hmm.
dandelion, dandelion really, really helps to fight inflammation in the body. It helps to
Hmm.
detoxify your liver. It improves the detox pathways within your body. So that helps there, reduces the inflammatory process, thereby helping
Hmm.
your heart, lowers blood pressure. And so there are so many benefits. And that's why
Oh
it's been
yeah.
used for centuries
Hmm.
as a way to help people to live healthier lives. So,
Hmm.
let me ask you this: you found dandelion tea. Was it your medical doctor that had recommended dandelion tea to you, or was that
No,
something that you found on your own?
no, it was cardiologists that I was listening to because I researched a lot of cardiologists, and
Mhm.
one of them said, with all of my heart patients, he says, I never prescribe any of the normal statins. I put them on dandelion tea. And he says, over the last 10 years in my practice, I've seen it be like a repair kit for the heart. And another cardiologist mentioned about like it enhances the health of the heart, kind of like you just got a repair kit in there. And I'm
Right.
thinking, wow, I could definitely use a repair kit in my heart. If I already got, I had to have 4 bypasses put in. But also, too, this is a nicety to know that a lot of people out there may want to, get dandelion tea just for this.
Mhm.
When I came out of the hospital after surgery, I weighed 168. I went 168 pounds going in. So I don't know what I weighed coming out. Okay. 168 pounds. I started taking the, dandelion tea about a month later. And I really didn't check my weight or anything because I really wasn't concerned about my weight. But as I noticed it being a great diuretic and helping with digestion, I went from 168 pounds down to 152 pounds. And like I tell people, I did not have to give up one biscuit and I didn't have to do one push up. So that in
All
itself
right.
is a great incentive for trying it. But that just goes to show you if you have a good digestive system and it's good diuretic, I mean, you're not, you're not in danger of being heat stroke victim or anything like that. I'm not talking about that, but I mean, I'm just talking about how it just cleanses out everything. And gosh, it's it's great. It really is. I feel much better, and I can just tell my body is just you can tell when your body is feeling good and everything's kind of like working good on the inside. If I can
Yeah.
use those layman terms.
Well, I think obviously it's kind of acted like a rotor rooter for your pipes, and got
Yeah,
what needed to be flowing again,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that is good. Well, with the few minutes that we have left, Jim, I kind of share with us. You've recovered from that. You found
Mhm,
some natural things to help you out.
mhm,
You've worked to get with your cardiologist to get
mhm.
off those medications.
Right.
Uh, what are you doing now? What you got a new refound purpose on life. What is it that you're doing now? What gets you up in the morning and excited to be still here?
Well, what I've always done, even when I had my heart attack and even afterwards, I was doing 5 shows a week, 1 hour shows. And that may not sound like much, but it's a lot when you're on a streaming TV network. But we wanted more flexibility. We wanted the opportunity to have expansion. I'm not talking about, us having more shows, but the ability for us and the host to be able to do different things. And so Emerson Brantley and I, we created AeroStream TV. And what I mean by that, like Jeremy's one of our hosts here, he's got his regular show, but also too, if he wants to put on a special event for a fundraiser, he has that flexibility. We didn't have that flexibility before. And we're doing some charity work with some people that we're very excited with. And we're going to be able to put on a new series coming up. And it's kind of premature for me to talk about it, but see, not only can I do that, but so can our host. And with the other networks, all they do is just, well, you got a time slot here. That's it. Thank you very much. And, you can't do much. But the energy was coming to us to do something different. And it has nothing to do with us making money. It has everything to do for us to be of service, not only for nonprofits, but to, like Jeremy and other hosts, to be able to have the flexibility to say, hey, I want to do a fundraiser for, these folks here or some organization, and I just want to make sure we get this thing set up. Sure, no problem. And that's the mission. Because when you look to bless others, ladies and gentlemen, you will be blessed yourself.
Well,
and the only people, I've been around too many people that's only interested in one thing, and that's buttering their own bread. And the problem with that philosophy is they want you to supply the bread too. That's a
bread,
disconnect.
Butter and the butter knife, right?
Yeah. And that's a disconnect with me, because it's got to be a win-win-win situation for everyone for it to be a good deal. It really does.
Well, I am so excited that we've had the opportunity to have this conversation the last 2 episodes, Jim. Thank you so much
Thank you.
For your service in the military. Thank you for coming on the show, sharing your story of going from a widowmaker to a showmaker, and really building out this Aerostream TV network, which the Natural Health TV channel is on. And I just want to thank you. It's an inspiring story. You're now 75 after having your heart attack at 72. You're still kicking. You're going strong. You're starting new things. So the diagnosis of a heart attack or a widowmaker does not have to be the end. You are a living example of that, and I just want to thank you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. And whatever your condition is in your health, it's something that you will, accept, live with, but it does not own you or control you. And when it comes to to you, Jeremy, there on what's the name of the TV? What do we name that channel there?
The Natural Health TV channel.
Natural Health TV, yeah.
Yep.
He's the producer of it. He's the producer of it. So, we're just very fortunate. See, that's something else that we want to do, be able to help people go and grow. And, it's just a win-win situation. And ladies and gentlemen, I just hope that I said something here that would be beneficial to someone out there. And I'd just like to say one final thing that really made an impression on me many years ago when John Wayne, the great actor, died. If you may have seen pictures of his later life, he had a big pot belly. During the autopsy, he had 45 pounds of fecal material left in his body. And there's no way the poor man could be healthy carrying that much toxic material in the body. So that's another reason why I'm a big fan of Dandelion tea.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much, my friend. And we're going to wrap up the show today. And we look forward to maybe having you on the show again in the future.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the show.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today to Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. That's me, your holistic practitioner, health coach. And I am so glad that you had the opportunity to watch today's show. I hope you enjoyed Jim's story of going from the widowmaker to the showmaker. As always, please make sure that you consult with your medical practitioner if you have any kind of health concerns. And if you are interested in learning more about having your own show on the Natural Health TV channel, be sure to reach out, info@DocStonesNaturalMedicine.com. I'll be happy to talk to you and help you to get your show launched, to get your story out there. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for watching Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone on the Aerostream TV network. The opinions expressed by the host and guests of this show are theirs and not the opinions of the network or our sponsors. None of the information shared on today's episode should be taken as medical advice. Statements have not been approved by the FDA or any other governmental authority. And if you're experiencing any kind of illness or wellness issue, you are encouraged to consult with your licensed healthcare practitioner. And we do appreciate you watching our show and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.